Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 27 of the WhotKnot podcast. My name is Kathy. I'm disabled after a car accident in 2007, and as part of my occupational therapy, I like to do a lot of art and craft, any sort of art and craft. So if you like a cross-section of different types of arts and crafts to watch, you're in the right spot. Got Buddy here, as usual. Never far away, he's in trouble. I left a pillow on the floor in the bedroom yesterday. Guess who weed on it? Yes, we're not talking about that though, so somebody got in a bit of trouble for that. And it was a new pillow. Yes, he's sorry. I forgave him. We moved on. So, yeah, so that's that. Now, first off, I would just like to thank everybody that sent me a message about my ball winder, and I have got follow-up information about that, so I'll talk about that in a little while. And I've got my my book here, and I thought I'm going to try and pick it up and show it to you guys, what I'm dealing with now. And in this book, I keep all my show notes, all cards and letters that I get from everybody, all my bits and pieces. So a lot of stuff in there, and I'll show you today's page. I've got my notes all on that side, and any bits and pieces that I've received or nice bits of packaging. These nice flowers came on my Etsy shop packaging along with this little thing. My mum gave me some old patterns that weren't quite complete, so I have been using them to sort of cut up and decorate my my scrapbook. These little pockets here were part of my Lily Advent, so I saved them so that I can use the pocket to stick all the little bits and pieces in. But as you can see, it's full of stuff. That's from Christmas, so that's all last year's, and now we're heading into this year's. So it's hefty. All right. So now the other people that I would like to thank, I want to thank everybody that has stopped by my Etsy shop to support my Etsy sale. I really appreciate that. The sale is going until the end of this month, and there's 15% off. So across the board, 15% off. Whatever is in the shop is 15% off. So as I said, thanks to everybody that's already shopped my sale. Thanks to everybody that's just popped in to have a look. Thank you to everybody that's left such lovely reviews on my Etsy shop. So yeah, I really appreciate it. Now, I'll get the business end out of the way. Let's talk about this ball winder. Yeah, that has been the bane of my existence for the first week after I filmed the last podcast. I am not even kidding you when I say to you that I have wound approximately 7 balls of yarn a day trying to get that thing to work. My husband has also been heavily involved in the process. And I will say that my experiences with the shop that I purchased from were less than satisfactory. I found the ladies that I was dealing with there, I'm not going to mention the shop, less than helpful, and in some cases even worse than that. So I won't be shopping there again. I ended up having to take my complaint to PayPal and try and get my money back through PayPal. So I put my case forward to PayPal. They investigated it. They decided that I should have my money back. So the ladies that that were dealing with the problem didn't end up getting a say in it. I got my money back. So yay for PayPal in that instance. I will say that I got so many messages of people of assistance and advice, and so many people complaining about the same issues with these ball winders. They're not cheap. And I think it's a bit rude that they're selling these ball winders when clearly there is an issue. Now, I got a message from on YouTube, Columba 125, and she recommended that I have a look at a video by Fibre Artist Supply Co. And I will link that video below because it is extremely helpful. And I watched that, and I will say that privately on Instagram, the Fibre, I want to make sure I get their name right, Fibre Artist Supply Co. contacted me. Now, bearing in mind, they sell their own ball winders, but they went out of their way to try and help me sort out the problem. And after following their advice, I did manage to get a half decent cake of yarn out of it. And their advice was, I haven't got the machine with me anymore to show it to you, what I was going to show you, because we've sent it back. But where the post is that feeds the tension through to the ball winder, he recommended that I bend that as close as I could to the post that the yarn winds onto. And once I did that, we were able to get it to work. So if you've got one of these ball winders, my recommendation is, at least if it's sitting there gathering dust, you might as well give it a go and bend that post in as far as it will go so that you can still turn the ball winder easily without the ball of wool getting caught on that. And the other recommendation that I got from somebody else on Instagram was to only wind the skein clockwise. So with those two things in mind, I was able to get it to work. Now, I will say that with the eBay one that I've got, it's like a crank one that you wind this way. And the Ashford ball winder is a flatbed one that you wind that way. And after trying both sorts now, I find this action less natural than winding it this way. So if I get another ball winder, and at this stage I'm happy to sit tight with my eBay job, I am going to look for a more of a crank style ball winder. So yeah, long story long, after a bit of conflict, I did get my money back and the ball winder has gone back. So the search for a decent ball winder continues. And good luck to all of you that have got ball winders that you're struggling with, because that is a mental challenge. All right, now next up is the giveaway that I ran on the last episode of my podcast. And lovely Bronwyn from Into the Wildwood on Etsy has donated this lovely gift pack of stamps, fabric stamps. And I demonstrated my use of this in the last podcast. So if you want to see what this is all about and you're interested in it, go and have a look at episode 26 and you'll see in my finished objects the end result of my kit. But yes, Bronwyn has offered this lovely package, and I put all the people that had applied for the prize on the last podcast into a random number generator, and there was 32 of you all together, and number 11 came up, and I can tell you now that the winner of that was, let me get your name right, it's JAYNE EMSDEN. Yep, Jane. So Jane, you've won the prize, and Jane said that she would like to keep her cross stitch and potentially use it as a shopping bag. So Jane, you're the winner. So if you want to get in touch with me either here or on Instagram, I will send you the link to Bronwyn's store, or likewise I will put the link in the description box below and you can get in touch with Bronwyn directly. I will let Bronwyn know that you are the winner. So congratulations, Jane, and thank you to everybody who entered that. I really enjoyed reading through the comments, and there was anything from keeping yarn supplies in it to keeping dogs in those bags. So, yep, I'm all about it, and I had a lot of fun reading those. So that's that. Now, let's have a look at my finished objects, and I've got a couple here to show you today. So I will start off with last week on the podcast. I showed you this little brooch kit that I had purchased, and I purchased this off Etsy from an Etsy seller called Pansy Fern April on Etsy, and I put that little guy together, and here is the finished object. And I can tell you that was a lot of fun. It was really easy to do. It literally took me maybe 2 hours to put that together. The kit was fantastic. Everything that you need in this kit was in it. And it also came, if you didn't want to turn it into a brooch, which I have, it also came with a little cord that you can attach if you wanted to use it, say, as a Christmas decoration, or maybe an embellishment on a gift for a friend, a special friend. Yeah. But the instructions were detailed and easy to follow. And she has lots of little kits like this. She's got lots of sales on her Etsy shop, and I'm not surprised. She puts together from some great kits, and she is in Tasmania. Suitable for ages over 8 years or over 5 years with adult assistance. The kit contains all the materials to make a beautiful wren brooch 5 centimetres wide. And this is a fairy wren, this little bird is. So, yeah, I was really happy with that, and I really enjoyed making it. Look at those feathers blowing in the... I've got my ceiling fan on. Because even though it's overcast again, it's like every Wednesday when I go to podcast, it's overcast. When I go to record, it's overcast. So it's overcast again today. But, yeah, that's all right. It's still warm. It's still very warm. And the next thing I have finished is my Pinocchio. And this is for my sister, because we grew up with Walt Disney. Did anybody else ever watch the Disney movie every Saturday afternoon? We all did. Anyway, we watched Pinocchio. And so he's all made. And Pinocchio is a pattern, and this lady often runs 20% off, and I believe I got this pattern for the 20% off. And she is Cherry X Knit a Dream on Instagram, and she advertises her sales, and she's got lots of different toys that you can make. I've actually bought 3 of the patterns, so this was one that I've bought. I've bought the cat because I know somebody who likes cats that might like me to make that. And I've also bought the little girl. So, yep, Pinocchio is all finished. I've embroidered his little joints for his arms and legs. He's got his little jacket on. On his hat, I added a little extra. So I cut down a feather and just sewed that onto his hat. The bit that was really fun to do was the hair. You actually attach all that with a crochet hook. I got a bit crazy. I had to give him some serious haircut. I couldn't fit his hat on. I gave him way too much hair, but that's all right. But he's got his little Pinocchio nose going on there. You can see his profile. I used the scabies yarn for this project, except for the hair. I just had some black wool, and the joints I used black embroidery floss. So, yeah. But his little body is all knit in one piece, and then you attach the legs and his little shoes that I've put a little button on. Give you a close-up look of him. got his little grey jacket, and there's his little face. Ordered some little eyes off eBay, and yeah. So yeah, he's all done, and he'll be going to his new house this weekend. I'll show you the back of him. His little shorts. So cute. I've gone a bit blurry there. Oh, that's all right. There we go. Yeah. So, yep, Pinocchio all finished. So he's done. That didn't really take very long either. I feel like I sort of only worked on it occasionally. I sort of set my goal to knit one piece each day. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces and 3 pieces of clothing. So each little piece only took maybe an hour to knit, and you know, in just over a week you've got all the pieces and you just have to put them together. So yep. Now the other thing that I've got that I have finished is, I don't know if any of you remember, but on my first episode after my birthday, Mel sent me this kit for my birthday. And I believe she bought this from Catch of the Day. And it is a little money box. And it's for age 5 years plus. I don't know what she paid for this, but it had a little set of paints. It had 2 paintbrushes in it. 6 little paints and 2 paintbrushes. And your little ceramic figurine. And it also had, what have I done with that? Just a little piece of paper. This on top of the pile. It came with that. So it gave you some basic instructions. You had a little colour chart here of how to mix colours to get different colours. So for kids, I think would be a lovely kit. But as you guys know, I like doing this sort of stuff, and I've painted this up. So she's all done. She's got a nice woolly scarf on. She's got mittens on. She's ready for winter. Her big foxy tail going on there. And the way I painted it was, I didn't actually use their paints. I started to use their paints and I wasn't enjoying the colours that I was getting. So I actually used my watercolour paints to paint this. And it did a great job. So to get that look, I was trying to go for sort of an old woolly jacket look on her jacket. You can see it a bit better there. So I underpainted with mustard and then overpainted it with I'd call it a dirty green colour. And as you can see along the bottom, I've added some little embellishments just to give her a little bit of a woodslandy look. And as I've said in the past, I have a lot of clear nail polish, and that is what I varnished her with. I've got a few there, and if I ever do anything like this, because I don't really like the smell of Estopol, but I don't mind the smell of nail polish. So I just paint them, using the nail polish brush and everything, I just paint them with nail polish, clear nail polish. You can buy cheap clear nail polish, but I also like the look that it gives, because it looks shiny there, but it's not too shiny. It's what I would call a semi-gloss. So, yes, finished that little lady. And I was very happy with how she turned out. Never walk past those kits for kids. They're usually really good. I have yet to do one of these little kids kits and not be happy with the end result. So yeah, they're my 3 main finished objects, and I've got a couple of other bits to show you. I normally show you my in my works in progress, my panels that I'm making for my bags, but I haven't got any in progress at the moment. I've got 2 ready to go, but I haven't sewn them together. I advertised this last weekend on Instagram, but she didn't sell. But I still love her. I don't care. So this little bag, well, that's blowing out pretty badly. But I'll put some more pictures of it on this week on my Instagram and see if anyone's interested. But I finished this bag. So that's the front and that's the back. I'm really enjoying using my vintage buttons, and I will be talking about a couple of things in my For Me From Me section with the vintage buttons. But and I'm enjoying using my stamps. I've got some iron-on decals, which I've also used. I've actually put a few little fake pearls on this one. I don't know if they are showing up very well, but you can see the decals there. I'm trying to get that so it's not so glary. Oh, yeah, that might be good. There we go. So the decals and the buttons and stamps. But what I like to do with these bags is I use actually 2 layers of wadding because I like them to feel sturdy and substantial. And I had, when I was making these, I noticed I had quite a few bits of fabric offcuts left over, and I've just been sort of putting them to one side, thinking I'll come up with some idea as to what to do with them, and I did. So I've been putting them together for the pockets inside. So now the pockets have a nice matching stripy feature. And of course you've got your keychain, and I've got a skein of yarn in there because I was selling this as a kit on Instagram, and I thought that yarn went really nicely with it. But I really like making these bags. I like choosing all the fabric, and I like the, I don't know, I was going to say the monotony, but it's not really the monotony. It's mesmerizing to me, just knitting, sewing these stripes on. I just really enjoy that process of repetitiveness. So I like that. But yep. So if you're interested in this bag, let me know, but no pressure. Oh, I forgot to tell you too, when I was showing you the brooch, I found a couple of kits that I'd had for ages. Don't even know where I got them from, but I thought I will put those together. And they come with the little backing piece, and you embroider the little fabric bits on the top. I don't know if that's going to show. Looks a bit blurry. Hang on, let me do the old YouTube hand at the back there. There we go. Little shamrock. So I've embroidered that, and then you hot glue it into this backing piece. So it's got the little pin on the back of it. So yeah, that's one. I've actually got another couple of these, but I thought what I might do is, as I said in my last podcast, I'm trying to get a few bits and pieces together for a giveaway when I hit 1,500 subscribers. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but if you know anybody that might be interested in the podcast, share it around, because as I said, I am going to be doing a giveaway at 1,500 subscribers, and I am getting some really nice bits together for it. But this is the other one that I've embroidered, and I took a bit of poetic liberty there because the pattern did not say to put apples on the tree, but I did. So yeah, I think they're a nice little thing. They'd make a nice little gift, and these two probably will end up in somebody's order. So if you put an order in the shop, you might find one of these in your order. So that's those two. And then on to my watercolours. And I've got bad news about this, guys. I dropped the ball with my watercolours. When I was having all that trouble with my ball winder, it was all consuming for me. So I did not get a lot of painting done that week. I was a bit stressed, to say the least. But it's all behind me now, so I have started doing a bit more painting. So I did a couple of watercolours, and I had this one on Instagram, and I don't know if you'll recognise this person, but I decided I would try and do a portrait. So yeah, that is actually me drinking a cocktail. I will move this over to this side of the screen so that I can put the other picture up as to the one I copied off. There's a few issues with this picture, which Mel and I have talked about. There's a problem with the nose, and I feel like a problem with one of the eyes. I'm not sure what, but all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. And as Mel and I have discussed this, she's very good at portraits, and my field of expertise is animals, we've decided. But I am really trying to push my envelope this year and try some different things. I will attempt a few more portraits for sure. But look, I'm just enjoying the process, and that's what it's all about. Yeah. But that's that one. So that's one painting. And I did do a couple of other ones. Some of them I'm not that impressed with, but I'll show you. I did this one. Let's see, I can tell you what date I did it because I'm dating them. Like I've told you guys, if you're doing some watercolours, it's always good to sign and date. So I painted this one on the 15th of March. So this is my little bird, which I was very happy with in the end. Put it to the one side here. So this was the picture, and I'll put the picture of the one we were copying from on the other side of the screen. I liked how the branch turned out and the moss and everything. I really feel like that looked good. I have been trying a new technique that I've recently found out about, and it's called lifting. So you'll see here that there's kind of a lighter part here around his eye and around his beak, and it's a lifting technique that I've learned. I've been watching, and I've actually joined the membership from his name is Yong Chen. He is a Chinese artist, and his channel on YouTube is called Enjoying Art Through Relaxation. Enjoying art, and he says it's through relaxation, and I really like his technique. I like how he explains everything really thoroughly. So I decided to join his membership, and this Friday will be my first week of joining it. And on Friday I'm going to be doing, it's a communal class that he runs with a group of people. So I'm going to be joining the class on Friday and see how I go with that. I am thinking that I will get a lot more instruction from Yong with regard to how to finesse some of the details on my paintings that I feel like could have improvement. But yep, so that was number 2. And then this was number 3. And I painted this one yesterday. So this was the picture that I've painted. And I will put the picture alongside it that I copied from. I think my biggest problem is I don't like to go in too heavy-handed with the paints. And as you can see from the picture, their picture, it's a darker, moodier picture, but my pictures tend to end up light. So, yeah, I think I need to go in a bit harder and be a bit more gutsy with my shading and things like that. I did have trouble with the sky. This is only cheaper paper, so I did have trouble getting that to blend, but all in all, I was pretty happy with it. But I am going to show you one that I wasn't happy with, just to prove to you that not all my pictures turn out great. And I think my problem here is my lines aren't straight. I like a wobbly line, and when you're painting buildings, you can't do a wobbly line. So this was a picture that I was not happy with. I feel like my camera might not be focusing very well. I need to put my glasses on to see. Yeah. Now, as you can see, my building looks like he's about to fall down. And I think the problem here is that, as I said, like the lines here need to be straight for buildings. I'll put next to it the picture that we were copying off. Yeah, not the best. Not the best, but they're not all going to be winners, are they? But we'll see how we go. I am going to keep trying to do buildings and people to force myself to, as I say, to force myself to hone my eye in on those details. But we'll see. Anyway, so that's my paintings. All right, let's take a look at my whips. I've only got 2 whips on the go. Because I have got plans to make a couple of things in the next 2 weeks that are in my For Me, From Me section. So I have got my 2 whips on the go, and those 2 whips are ones that you guys have seen before. So in my basket here, I've got all my yarn, and that is for my Friends Are Like Flowers shawl. And I'm making good progress on that. I've sent the first half of the pattern to Mill, so she's going to start tech editing that for me. So I'm hoping by the end of next week, I will have the first section, one of 4 sections, off to the test knitters. But this is what I've got so far on my good copy of my Friends Are Like Flowers shawl. And I am loving these colours so much. I feel like they do look like very flowery and really lend themselves well to the shawl's namesake. So, yep, this peach coloured yarn is mine, so that's this one. So that's just a nice soft peachy colour. The self-striping yarn that I'm using is Lula yarns. They do a great job with self-striping, and I have many colours of theirs, but this particular ball is a 12 colour stripe, and it's the one that I got in my Lula Advent calendar this year. It was the main skein that I opened on the 24th, and I really like it. I like how it's knitting up, and it's knitting up well with my yarns. The other colours that I'm using are, I'm sorry, my balls are a little bit messy, but you get the idea with the colour. So I've dyed this up specifically. It's like a deep pear. I would call that a pear colour. I haven't dyed any of this up for the shop yet, but I'm thinking about that colour. I think that would be a popular colour. And the last colour, which was an additional one that I've added to the repertoire, is just this like very, very pale butterscotch colour with some light speckling in it. And I think that that's going to look nice. I'm looking forward to getting up to the point to knit this colour. I'm interested to see how this one knits up. And I think that once I do knit that into the shawl, it will give it a real garden-themed look about it. So, yep, going quite well with that. And really looking forward to getting the first section off to the test knitters. So, yep, I'm going to be going hard on that in the next 2 weeks now that Pinocchio's finished. That will be one of my main focuses. And the other whip that I've got going, and I was just knitting on this morning. I got it inside out. Oh, no, I haven't. There we go. This is my Oaxacan Rose by Thea Coleman. And I have just about finished knitting the body of it. So I've, slapping my needles around there, making a racket. So the front is done. And it's all finished. And I've just got, the way that you knit it is, it's supposed to be knit in pieces, but I changed it to knit the body in the round, and then the top section I have knit as if it was in pieces. So the neck is knit, which is great because I'm not going to have to go back in and do the neck, but this is knit in the pattern. So once you've done the body, that's it. You don't have to go back in and pick up the stitches for the neck. But I've never done this before, so you've got to knit these tabs on the top, and when you knit the back, you sew these tabs onto the back section to create the back of the neckline. Let's see. So, as you can see, I like the depth of the V. It's not too deep, but if I had a nice white t-shirt or a little cami on underneath it, you'd be able to see it. It'd be nice. I think it's going to be a great fit, and I'm really happy with it. So I'm powering up the back at the moment. I've probably got about another maybe 10 rows to go to cast off the back, and then I'll be on to the sleeves. So I'm kind of hoping that if this isn't finished in 2 weeks, it will be extremely close to being finished, because it's a heavy 8-ply, so it's knitting up quite quickly. I don't know what I'm trying to do here. Let me just put it down. But yeah, the pattern is a lovely moss stitch with the nice cable up the front and up the back. Really easy to do. As I said in the last podcast, it looks detailed, but it's TV knitting. It's not difficult at all. And then under the arms, it's got that nice little knitted panel. So, yep, like the colour, like everything about it. If you want to know about the wool, I talked about that on the last podcast, but a couple of I was under the impression you can't get it in Australia, and I still don't think you can. But a few of you have let me know that you can get it in the Wool Warehouse in the UK, and I actually went on and had a look, and they've got a huge range of colours in this particular cotton merino yarn. So if you are keen to try this, or you're looking for a nice DK, heavy DK for another garment, and you're interested in trying the cotton, might be worth going and having a look at that. So yes, that's that. And last fortnight on the podcast, I mentioned my Ravelry queue, which is ridiculously long. And a few of you were quite interested for me to do a segment on a segment that I'm going to call Ravelry Revealed. And I'm going to reveal one of the items that I've got on my Ravelry queue. And am I ashamed to say? I don't feel like I am ashamed to say, but in the cabinet, you can see on that back wall where my yarn is hanging, that's actually a sliding door to a wardrobe. And there is a substantial amount of commercial bought yarn in there, because my MO is that I will see a pattern that I like, and then I'll go and hunt down the yarn that I want to knit it in, buy the yarn, and then put it in my wardrobe in the back there. Yep. So when I went and had a look at my Ravelry queue, I did have well over 700 items on it. And I'm not saying that I've got yarn in that wardrobe for all of them, but I've got yarn in that wardrobe for a few of them. So what I thought I would do is I'm going to talk about one, and I've dragged out the yarn that I purchased to knit this jumper a long time ago. So the item on my Ravelry queue is by Sheindeer Knits, and I'm going to call it the Isbre, Isbre. And she knit this for a magazine, so I actually bought the collection with my thought in mind to knit this garment. So I'll put a picture of it here, and I bought the yarn. So the yarn that I purchased to knit this particular garment, I think is the one that she recommended. And let me just pick that up. It's running away from me. So the yarn that I've got in my stash, I've just dragged this out of my wardrobe of shame, is this. And it's the Rauma watch me stuff there. Finullgarn. Rauma Finullgarn. So it is a European-based yarn. It is a woollier yarn, I'll say that, but it is fingering. It's classified as a fingering. Its content is 100% wool. And I think it's one of those ones that when you've washed it, it would soften up a bit. But yes, I bought this colour for the main body of the jumper. So that would be the main part. And then for the little bit of colour work in it, I bought this one, which I think that would look, it's sort of what I would call a pink-based brown. If you look at that brown, it has actually got like a little bit of a pinkish undertone to it. So I think they work really well together. Now, will I use this yarn to knit that jumper? I don't know. I don't know whether I love the jumper as much as I did when she first designed it, because a few people have knit it now. And the one thing that I've noticed on the people that have knit it, that are wearing it, is that it's a very, what I would call puffy jumper. And although I like a nice looser fitting jumper, I don't want it to be too bulky because I am sitting in a wheelchair, and if I've got all that extra fabric around my tummy and hip area, I feel like it makes me look bigger. The things we worry about, hey? So I don't want it to be too bulky. So I'm not sure whether I will still knit that out of this yarn. I've got a sweater's quantity, but I've only got one ball of the brown, I think. I'm pretty sure. Maybe two. So if you've got a really nice two-colour work jumper that you think would look nice in this 4-ply, can you let me know? I did a bit of a search on Ravelry this morning thinking I would tell you guys what a backup alternative would be. And I really couldn't find anything that grabbed my fancy. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, or whether I will still knit the ibis, but I'm saying the ibis. It's not ibis. Let me get that right. Isbre. I'm not sure whether I'll still knit that, but it is on my queue and I do have the yarn for it. So there's that. But yep, that's pretty much everything I had to show you. My next section is the For Me From Me. Oh no, I have on my Etsy seller. Nearly forgot. Can't forget my Etsy seller. Oh, had my bits way over there. So I will tell you about my Etsy seller. I'm very happy with this. I haven't even opened it and I'm very happy with it because she packaged it so nicely. I love that about Etsy sellers. I love it when they pack things so beautifully and go to so much effort. It's great. And this item is one of the things that I'm going to be making in the next 2 weeks. So if you want to see the finished item, you'll have to watch in a fortnight's time. But this Etsy seller is Ferntales, and I'll show you her business card. And I will tell you again, I have bought 2 of these kits because one is going to be going into my giveaway for you guys. But look at her cute little logo. I love that. I love the colours in it. I love his rosy little happy cheeks. Yep. So, yeah, she's packaged these. Now, I won't open this one and I won't even pull the card out because this is how it came packaged. So beautiful. It's got a little wooden, little wooden button on the top there, all packaged together so nicely. And the box that it arrived in was also packed nicely. It had stickers and all sorts of things on it, and I actually pulled the stickers off. I've got them in my journal. And she sent this lovely card with a fox on. You know I'm all about little foxy. And I hope I'm going to be pronouncing her name correctly, but I believe it is Sveta. And she put a little note on the back of that for me. You can see the spelling of her name down the bottom there. Sveta. I believe that I am correct, but hopefully I am. So, yes, she sent this lovely little parcel, and I'm going to open it and show you what's in it. But on the outside, it says that it's got wool felt, stranded cotton, sewing needles and pins, tailor's chalk, pink pencil, stuffing, bamboo sticks, and the pattern. And it is to make a little hedgehog sewing kit. And I'll put a little picture of this little guy up of her Etsy shop. But she's got a few little bits and pieces, and it's well worth checking out. So I'll just pause for a minute and open this box so I don't make too much noise, and I'll be right back. All right, I've got this guy open, and it's even more delightful inside than it was on the outside. So this was what was wrapped around the box, and how cute is that packaging? So cute, little echidna. And she does lots of these kits in her shop, and I meant to tell you too that she is in Melbourne, Victoria, and she has 155 sales in her shop. So I think when I purchased this, she was under 100. So I bought it a little while ago, but she's obviously got a few more sales. So good for you. Now, when I opened the box, this is what I see. So cute. So that's a little bag of stuffing. And we'll take that out. So I think that she's got, let me just put my glasses on. I have no chance of reading any of this without my glasses these days. So this is corn fibre stuffing. It's a non-allergenic, biodegradable and 100% compostable fibre, and it's made in Australia. So fantastic. Very good. And it's got a little instruction card, and you can scan those little squares to find out a video, a PDF or a video to get your pattern. And inside here is all the little bits and pieces. And it's beautifully presented. Amazing, actually. You even get like a little pin cushion with the pins on it. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? So cute. So there's that. You've got your little pencil, pink pencil for marking out your pattern. And I'm assuming that the skewer is to do the stuffing. Everything. Oh no, there's the chalk. There's the chalk. Lovely little packet of chalk. Everything is so thoughtfully presented. She's got these, all your threads are wound up on these little echidnas. So beautiful. So you've got your cream, brown, and a little bit of, this one says optional. Use this thread if you want to make small stitches on the hedgehog's body for hair. So you've got options as to how detailed you want. They look like a little family of hedgehogs, don't they? Oh, they're going to be so cute in my scrapbook. And then you've got the pattern all printed on, not paper, it's printed on card so that you can just cut that out. And then in the very bottom of the box, you've got 100% wool felt ready to go, ready for your pattern. And at the very bottom of the box is a little ticket that says enjoy creating. And do you know what, Sveta? I am going to absolutely enjoy that. I have been eyeing that box off, sitting over to one side for about 3 or 4 weeks now. And I am very keen to make that, and that's going to be actually happening maybe even this afternoon. So as I said, I have bought 2 of these, and this is going in the pile of goodies for the 1500 subscriber giveaway. So share the love, guys. Let's see if we can't get up to 1500 subscribers and get those out to somebody. So beautiful little package, so well presented as usual from Etsy sellers. You guys rock. I feel very satisfied with that, and I'm going to feel very happy to give that to somebody as a gift. So yes, stay tuned next week to see what that little guy turns out like. So that's my Etsy seller. So again, she's Ferntales on Etsy, but rest assured I will link her in the show notes. So if you want to go and have a look at what other patterns she's got, or you fancy making yourself a little echidna, go and check out her store and support Etsy sellers, support makers. They put their hearts and souls into these things, and it shows. So thanks so much for that, Sveta. I am going to enjoy that. All right, so that's pretty much everything. That is everything. The things that I've been up to in the last 2 weeks is I caught up with the knitting ladies that we have coffee every month. So we had a lovely get together last Friday, and we had a great time. It's always nice to see those ladies. They've got lots of news, lots of knitting news. Nicole and I are thinking about doing a little bit of a knit along, so I might talk about that when it gets a bit closer. And as far as Susan is concerned, we are having another meeting tomorrow, and we are finalising some of the bits and pieces. You're going to start to see the Advent stuff coming through. It's going to be great, guys. Some of the little bits and pieces that we have ordered have turned up. I took them along to show Susan. She was super duper excited, and so was I. And just a little bit of up and coming news. When we release the Advents, Susan is going to join me on the podcast. Yep, that's right. You can't back out of it now, Susan. I've said it on the podcast. So she's feeling very shy about it, but I know you guys are all going to make her feel more than welcome. So that'll be probably mid-April that we will be doing that podcast, and we will be having a chat about the Advents. And there's some exciting things going to be attached to those Advents. And as I said, I'm catching up with Susan tomorrow, and we are going to iron out a few more of the details. We've got some of the packaging has arrived, so we need to sort of work out how we want to make that look so beautiful for you guys. And yeah, so that's really exciting. But apart from that, as I said, the weather's a bit gloomy here, but that's okay. It is what it is. The garden's getting a nice water, and I'm tucked up here in my cozy little craft room doing all my arty crafty stuff, so I'm about that. Buddy is still asleep on my lap here, living his best life. And yeah, so that's about it from me. The next section is my For Me From Me. So if you are not interested in that, thank you so very much for popping in to see me. I hope you've enjoyed having a little bit of a peek at all the bits and pieces that I've been up to. And I will see you in 2 weeks, and you can check out my hedgehog. So I'll see you in 2 weeks, but for the rest of us, let's see what I've been acquiring. All right, so For Me From Me, and I've got a couple of nice little goodies here to show you, and some of them are actually some lovely gifts. So first off, I got a lovely, lovely parcel in the mail from Alison, and Alison is Knitty Hooky on Instagram, and she does some beautiful knitting. She's got some lovely things on the needles at the moment, and she does some very nice things. And she had sent me a little package, which was a complete surprise. My husband picked it up from the post box just last night. So when I opened it, it had a lovely skein of yarn in it. So Alison has sent me this yarn, and this is from Merry Creek Sock Yarn, and it is an 80/20 Australian Merino nylon, and the colour is called Clear. So that is a beautiful, beautiful colour. Really, really nice. And I am going to enjoy including that in something. I might use it in a shawl. It's really soft, very nice. And then she also sent me these lovely, lovely packets of, I think that I would be putting them scented sachets for a drawer. And I can smell the corner of them there, and they've got a lovely, nice floral smell. Nicely little package. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 in those. So I'm going to stick them in my drawers. So beautiful. Thank you, Alison. And anybody that knows me knows I have a sweet tooth. I love lollies. And she has sent me some lollies. So pretty happy about that. I will be munching on a few of those while making my hedgehog this afternoon. So thank you very much, Alison. Totally unnecessary. You definitely did not have to send me anything, but it was a great surprise and I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you. So thank you very, very much. And on the gift giving note, I contacted my sister because she collects old tins, and I told her that I was looking for a nice old tin to keep my buttons in, and she sent this around for me. So it's a really nice old tin. It's very old. It's I like it because I think that the patterns on it look like embroidery. Really nice. And of course the little saying on the front is also nice. Health, love and wealth, and time to enjoy them. And I feel like that really resonates at the moment with the whole, lockdown and COVID over the past 18 months, that in some instances it's difficult for everybody, but in other instances it's made us all slow down and have time to enjoy the things that we've got and the things that we've got around us. So I have collected a few buttons lately. My button jar's gotten full because, as I said, I'm really enjoying using them in my sewing. And when the podcast's finished, I'm going to load this guy up with buttons. So thank you, Tess. I love it. Love it a lot. So I got that. And something that I've purchased, and I purchased this from an online store, and I've left one of the wrappings on, and it was a store on Etsy called Poems About You, and it is some watercolor paints. So there's 3 paints there. I've left one of them wrapped up so that you can see how they arrived to me. Hope that's in focus. But yeah, so I watched a podcast the other day, a painting podcast, and they were saying that for a lighter skin tone, that a yellow and this red tone really look nice together. So I went on specifically to buy those, and she had a nice gold, and I like to do a bit of splattering with gold. So are you off, sir? Are you heading off or just rearranging your comfortness? Yeah, so I got the gold as well, but yep. So I've purchased those. So I'll be adding those to my collection. I bought this. I'm interested to see how this goes. It's the new, well, it's not new anymore. It's been out for a while, but it is the Addy Loop, and it's for sewing jumpers and things like that together. So it's, I I don't know, these old eyeballs are not serving me well lately, and I'm even having trouble threading needles and things like that. So I was on the lookout because they have a big loop on the top. Let me get one out, see if I can get it out and get my scissors onto it. And they got a big loop on the top, and I thought that might help a girl out here that's having trouble with my eyeballs. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a larger loop on the top, and I'm hoping that will be good. There's two different sizes to sew jumpers and things like that together. So I've bought those to put into my notions pouch that Nicole gave me. When I was dragging around, when I pulled out those little brooch kits that I'd had stashed in my craft room forever and decided to do those embroideries, I also found this in my my stuff. Obviously something that I've just picked up randomly at some point in time, and it's a little like long stitch. I'll just whip that picture out of the packet to show you what it looks like, but I thought I might have a crack at this over the next 2 weeks. It's got the picture of what it's going to look like there. Yeah, so I like that because it's got a lot of red in it. I like red in pictures. So yep, I'm going to have a go at that over the next 2 weeks. That's on my list. And then I was looking for sewing kits on Etsy, and I came across this website, and it's called Something's Country on Etsy. So that's the card that I got with my order. And I've ordered a Tilda Club kit, and I'll just get the picture out of this bag to show it to you. It's all been nicely packaged. So what I'll be making is that little sewing caddy, and it's come with all the fabric. So I'm hoping, I've never bought anything like this, but I just liked the fabric, and I just thought doing something like that might be nice. I don't even know what's in here. What have we got? Oh, there's the pattern. So it's got all the pattern bits in it. And this is the fabric. So it's not obviously not pre-cut out, but it's got the colour of it just appealed to me. I hope that's showing up accurately. And it's got the nice, it's got some lining fabric that's got little birds on it, and some just plain a sort of cornflower blue, and then there's that colour fabric there. So yeah, I'm interested to try and see if I thought if I bought a pattern, it might have some things in it that I don't know how to do, and I could learn some new sewing things. So that's why I kind of went for that. But I also liked the little caddy. So yeah, I'm going to have a go at putting that together this week, in the next 2 weeks, I should say. So there was that. And then, as I said, last week I went out with the coffee ladies and the knitting ladies, and I went to Spotlight with Susan and Em afterwards, and they had a sale. When we went in there, I said to Susan, the smell of Spotlight makes me want to spend money. I shouldn't go in there, but I did manage to get out of there for under $100. So I bought this little stack, and it was on special for half price. and it's all different gumnut baby fabrics. I'm not going to open it up because I'm going to keep it bundled up in my craft room for a little while. But I thought that they were rather nice. I don't have a lot of blue fabrics in my stash, and there was some nice bluey colours in amongst those, and I thought that's a good excuse to buy them. That's how my brain works. Yeah, and that's all I've bought over the last 2 weeks. So, yeah, that'll keep me out of trouble, I think, for the next 2 weeks, working on some of those projects and getting those done. And I hope you guys have got some good projects on the go at the moment and are having fun doing them. And yeah, I'll look forward to seeing on Instagram. Those of you that are on Instagram, I like looking to see what you're making and what you're doing. So show me what you're up to. But other than that, no excitement. As usual, that's the way I like it. I am going to be heading off to have some lunch now. Rusty's just come in. They're not keen to go outside at the moment with the rain. But I've got a nice quiet weekend coming up. My husband's back at work, so that's a bit unfortunate. I like it when he's at home and we do stuff together, but that's all right. Got to pay the bills. And, yeah, other than that, all is quiet. Pushing past me, Rusty. And I hope you guys are doing well and finding time to get all the crafty things done. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.